today is the shloka which will tell us how we should act in a devotional life. Not me. Why not learn? Only one me. To learn shlokas. Then only you'll be able to realize them. Spiritual science is very amazing. The more you learn the shloka, the more you realize it. Understand? The more you learn the shloka, the more you will get the meaning of it. Deeper meaning. So this is very important. Normally, material जो knowledge होता है वो learn करते हैं, उसका meaning क्या होता है? ठीक है, मत कर लो, ठीक है. But spiritual is very amazing because every word in spiritual, in Sanskrit shloka, every word has multiple meanings, multiple layers, layers under layers, so many layers that we even can't, like I was saying yesterday, Krishna is unlimited. Krishna, no one can measure Krishna. Immeasurable. Yesterday Bhagavad Gita shloka is immeasurable. No one can measure him. Even Anand Sesh cannot measure him. So no one can say I know Krishna fully. But different Mahajans at different times, they dive into the Krishna Nectar, Krishna Shastra, Krishna Gyan. They dive into the Samveta Shakti of Krishna. Different acharyas, different Mahajans, different empowered incarnations. They all dive into the Samveta Shakti, the knowledge potency of the Lord. And जो उनके हाथ में आता है वो लेके आके they explain to us. No one can take the whole ocean, right? You dive into the ocean, you can collect one bucket from that, 2 buckets. No one can collect the whole ocean. Similarly, Ved Vyas हो या कोई भी, इतने भी empowered हैं, no one can claim that they know Krishna completely. Krishna is ever expanding. Even Ved Vyas' knowledge was expanding. He wrote Srimad Bhagavatam in his maturity. He couldn't write Srimad Bhagavatam when he was immature in Krishna consciousness. And that time he wrote the Vedas, the Puranas. But to bring out Srimad Bhagavatam, Ved Vyas had to reach maturity. And when Srimad Bhagavatam is just the postgraduate level, means Ved Vyas never reached the PhD level of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Someone came, like Krishna Das Kaviraj came, and he dived into this Samved Shakti of Krishna, and he got Chaitanya Charitamrita from that. And after that, different acharyas, they dive, they get some jewels from the Krishna ocean, Krishna Samved ocean, knowledge ocean, and they come out and they give it to us. Right? So similarly, we also have to dive. These shlokas are, the seed, the capsule. We have to sow it in our heart, memorize it, sow it in our heart. When these shlokas are sown in our heart, then they begin to manifest, produce. They begin to grow into small plants first, then into big kalpa vriksha, and then they start producing fruits. And then each fruit is uniquely tasteful. And each fruit we can taste, we'll realize something newer. So the first time you may learn the shloka, you will think, okay, iska matlab ye hota hai. But it's in your heart because you have learned it, and you are again speaking about it. When you're quoting it, like I quote, so many shlokas, sarva dharman paritaje, savai pumsha paro dharma, jiva sarpe krishna. We keep quoting. The more we are quoting, these shlokas, as many times we quote, as many times the layers are getting revealed to us more and more. So we get amazing realization, understanding. Each and every time we are quoting these shlokas, we get a new facet. So this is the reason why we have to learn the shloka is very important. Otherwise, you will never be able to dive into that Samved Shakti of Krishna, that knowledge potency. You will learn only external you will be able to understand, but not. That's why Prabhupada said at least 108 important Bhagavad Gita shloka you should learn, and Nectar of Instruction, Ishopanishad, very less shloka. You should learn all these shlokas, and just meditate on one shloka while you are chanting, and you will be amazed to see the kind of meaning each and every shloka, gives you. Prabhupada told once, I can write 100 different purports for the same verse of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada said, I can write 100 different purports. Imagine, we have one purport of Prabhupada, that also we can't understand fully. And Prabhupada was, he told that he can write 100 different purports for the same shloka. You can imagine the immense knowledge, he was carrying it. And he has given it in his purport. If you read, सब 100 के 100 का Prabhupada ऐसे word use करते हैं. If you really study Srila Prabhupada's purport, people don't study, most of people just they read the shloka and they okay, samajh. But when you just, the most important aspect of Bhagavad Gita is Prabhupada's purports or Prabhupada's explanation anywhere. These purports, you just read it, and Prabhupada uses such words in his purports. Those words, if you just contemplate and meditate on those words will reveal to you 100 different meanings of that shloka. 100 different meanings, how you can see that shloka. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, each and every shloka should be seen from all points of vision, all angles of vision. You should see each and every 360 degree. See those shlokas. Don't see those shlokas just, just एक बार पढ़ा, जैसे पोपट होता है ना, वैसे नहीं. Pray to that shloka. We should literally pray to the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, of Ishopanishad, Nectar instruction. Then they begin to reveal. Divya Gyan Prakashito. They begin to reveal us the deeper and deeper meaning. That's why it is very, very important. Every one of you should learn those shlokas. If you want to become a big preacher, also you should know shlokas. If you want to become a Madhyam Adhikari, also you should know shlokas. If you want to just remain neophytes and kanishtas, then no problem. Then you can, it will take millions of lifetimes for you to, come out of Maya. You may suffer in Maya you will suffer in Maya for hundreds of lifetimes, millions of lifetimes. But if you are really sincere and serious to come out of this Maya attack, Maya, entanglement, then one shloka per day, just read it, meditate on it, learn it. When I was learning these shlokas, I used to learn the shloka, one shloka, half an hour, 1 hour तक उनका English meaning, Hindi meaning सब कुछ learn करके, then for next 3 to 4 hours प्रभुपाद का जो purport है वो read करके उस पे meditate करता है. I used to meditate on that purport, each purport 3 to 4 hours, while I'm chanting in my mind, reading those shlokas and contemplating, meditating. And like that, you can, so many deeper meanings used to be revealed like that. Each one of you can try this. हमको भगवद गीता खाली एग्जाम पास करना है या ये सब, हमारे टेस्ट वो पास करने के लिए नहीं. We should dive into it. It's a nectar, gems, jewels, like the समुद्र मंथन जो हुआ था, ऐसे मंथन किया तो इतने प्रकार के jewels ये सब निकले. उसी प्रकार हर एक श्लोक का मंथन करो अपने हार्ट में. Try to, dive, क्या बोलते हैं मंथन को, क्या बोलते हैं? What do you call manthan in English? Forgot. Churn, churning. Try to churn each and every shloka in your heart, and you'll see the kind of jewels, each and every word. You may not even know Sanskrit, but even then, each and every word, Sanskrit word will become a reality for you. You might have learned nothing, no Sanskrit, no knowledge of Sanskrit, but even then, when you meditate, contemplate on shlokas, they produce nectarian cream, and you will say, oh wow, what a meaning, I never thought of such a meaning before, but Prabhupada's mercy, Krishna's mercy, I'm able to realize such a meaning of those shlokas. So like that we have to. Okay, so now you should learn. So now we'll go to the fifth shloka. This is very important. ये इसके कारण 99% लोगों का फॉल डाउन हो जाता है. ये खाली ये श्लोक नहीं समझने के कारण सेंटिमेंटली 99% लोगों का fall down spiritual life से. देखो 3 लोग का तो fall down हो. Anyways, कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं manasādriyeta dīkṣāsti चेत् praṇatibhiś bhajantam īśam śuśrūṣayā bhajana-vijñam ananyam anya nindādi-śūnya-hṛdam īpsita-saṅga-labdhyā. Right? So one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord, means जिसका हरिनाम दीक्षा हुआ है. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who have undergone spiritual initiation, dīkṣā, Brahman dīkṣā, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. This is how we have to behave our relationship with different devotees. Normally क्या होता है, हम किसी को भी प्योर डिवोटी समझ लेते हैं, किसी को भी obeisances पे कर देते हैं, जिनको पे करना है उनको नहीं करना है. We should know how to discriminate between devotees. आप बोलोगे how Shastra teaching discrimination? Yes. For a neophyte, discrimination is the most important thing. Discriminate whom to associate with, whom not to associate in the material world. Discriminate between everything, what to do, what not to do. Do's and don'ts are there for neophytes. Uttam Adhikari doesn't need to discriminate, but a neophyte has to. Otherwise, wrong association and spiritual life is finished. So we have to discriminate. And this is the reason why a neophyte, he should mentally honor devotee who is chanting the holy name. So we don't have to, like I've seen many times, in ISKCON also, neophyte and kanishtas, they offer obeisances to each other. It is good humility, but it has no spiritual value. Understand? No spiritual. Obeisances should be offered only to a madhyam adhikari, not to a kanishta. Understand? If you offer obeisance to kanishta, you will get kanishta's mercy, and kanishta mercy is material attachment. Okay, so this is the reason why it is said, Nupa Goswami is saying that just mentally honor kar do, theek hai, is a devotee, mentally honor from far. And one who is taken dīkṣā, Brahman dīkṣā, who is chanting Gayatri, who is worshipping the deity, unko you have to offer your dandavat pranam. Okay, and one who is an uttam adhikari, unke saath you have to associate and faithfully serve that pure devotee. Normally हम कनिष्ठ को ही सर्व करने लग जाते हैं, उनके एसोसिएट करते हैं. जैसे आप सब लोग हो ग्रुप में, संग है ना, फ्रेंड बनते हैं, तो कनिष्ठ फ्रेंड बनते हैं. उस फ्रेंडशिप से क्या होता है, कुछ स्पिरिचुअल नहीं होगा, प्रजल्पा ही होता है. राइट, हमारे ग्रुप में प्रजल्पा होता है इतना, क्योंकि सब कनिष्ठ हैं. तो कनिष्ठ मतलब प्रजल्पावाद होगा. अब you have to engage with those devotee who is a madhyam adhikari at least, or uttam adhikari means Prabhupada association, that is uttam adhikari association. That you have to see. If you associate with kanishta, you'll get his vibration, remain a kanishta only. The Prabhupada mentions here, in order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocation mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper person with careful discrimination. Careful discrimination, we have to discriminate कि किसके साथ में हमको exchange करना है. Right? अपने आप में करना है, like the previous shloka था, we have to reveal our mind in confidence. तो वो किसको reveal करना है. आप किसी कनिष्ठ को reveal करोगे तो क्या होगा, आज आपका दोस्त है वो, कल आपका दोस्त नहीं रहेगा. कनिष्ठ अधिकारी है ना, दोस्त नहीं रहेंगे तो क्या होगा. जब दोस्त नहीं तो एडवांटेज ले लेगा. If you go, oh माता जी, oh I like this boy, or my past I had this boyfriend, this girlfriend, you go and reveal to your mind to a कनिष्ठ अधिकारी. ठीक है, जब तक भक्ति में ठीक है, जिस दिन भक्ति में नहीं होगा क्या बोलेगा, now blackmail, now I'm going to expose you. Right? वो आपका एडवांटेज लेगा. This is the reason why, even whom you are revealing yourself, revealing a mind, that also should be very much important. That is very important. You have to choose. ऐसे नहीं किसी को पकड़ के आपका कोई कितना ही अच्छा फ्रेंड हो, if devotional devotee life में, but revealing your mind in confidence is always with the madhyam or the uttam adhikari, or shiksha or diksha, not with your neophyte friends. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that one should meet with the Vaishnava in an appropriate way according to the particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with three types of devotees: the Kanishta, the Madhyam, and the Uttam. Kanishta is the neophyte who has received Harinam Diksha, Harinam initiation from the spiritual master. So all of you have received Harinam initiation from Srila Prabhupada. What is Harinam initiation? Oh, Prabhu हमको तो नहीं मिला, आपको सबको मिल गया. You don't have Brahman Diksha, but you already have Harinam Diksha. So you all are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So as you are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself, initiates you. And because Srila Prabhupada has given this Mahamantra, so in one sense Srila Prabhupada is initiating you, has initiated you. So you don't need to, means formal ho nahi ho alag baat hai, that is, you can take. But the chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself is good enough, to take you back home, back to Godhead. So it is good enough that, if you're chanting, you are already initiated. Right? Like here it said, one who is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, devotee who chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is a Kanishta. So you already are, Kanishta initiated. Kanishta Adhikari is neophyte who has received the Harinam initiation from the spiritual master and trying to chant the holy name. One should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnava, Kanishta devotee. So this should be your dealing with a person who is chanting. Sentimentally नहीं, दंडवत प्रणाम, दंडवत मार दो, वो करते हैं. देखा होगा आप लोग ने वृंदावन में, बहुत से जो नियोफाइट्स होते हैं वो एक दूसरे को दंडवत मारते रहते हैं. कितनों ने देखा है? It's a good show of humility. अच्छा लगता है humbleness, but it is not Shastra recommended. Have you seen all the neophytes coming, new bhaktas, or they come and they offer obeisances to each other. And they say, Vancha kalpatva kripa sindhu bhyavacha padinam papne vaishnavyo namo namah. Yeah, very nice. We offer that in Mangal Arati after that, for everyone. But that is just, to the Paramatma. But, when you take that to next level, oh, he is a Kanishta Adhikari, but you think he's an advanced devotee, and you start taking association and knowledge from such a person, then that is your fall down. Because his vibration is going to contaminate your consciousness. His vibration will be contaminating your consciousness. So if he has lust, anger, greed, he's a neophyte, he has lust, anger, greed. So with his association, you will also get lust, anger, greed, envy. And you will not be able to advance spiritually. Madhyam Adhikari receives spiritual initiation from the spiritual master, means he has received the Gayatri mantra. He is chanting the Gayatri mantra. And he is, engaged, he is fully engaged in the trans-loving service of the Lord. Means he is worshipping the deity form of the Lord with, it's not a Kanishta worship, rules in English, but a Madhyam worship the deity form of, a deity form of the Lord in devotional service, in Bhagavad Vidhi, not in Pancharatika Vidhi. Okay? So the Pancharatika Vidhi is rules and regulation, but a Bhagavad Vidhi is love and devotion. So Madhyam Adhikari is worshipping the deity with love and devotion, and he has received spiritual initiation, and he is a preacher. But a Madhyam Adhikari also discriminates, like Prabhupada will tell ahead. It is very important. A neophyte to discriminate, a Madhyam Adhikari to discriminate. Neophyte discriminates कि मुझे किससे एसोसिएट करना है, किससे नहीं करना है. मध्यम अधिकारी डिस्क्रिमिनेट कि मुझे किसको देना है, नहीं देना है एसोसिएशन. क्योंकि अगर सबको देंगे मध्यम अधिकारी एसोसिएशन, तो उसमें से बहुत से लोग they just come to challenge, to टाइम वेस्ट हो जाता है. He doesn't waste his time in all that thing. He just finds out innocent people कहाँ पे है उनको. जैसे आप लोग होंगे अभी, न्यूफाइट्स, तो आप लोग को लगता है कि सबको डिवोटी बनाना है हमको, राइट? तो आप लोग अपने घर वालों से भी डिबेट कर लेते हो, अपने फ्रेंड से डिबेट, कि कैसे भी करके उसको डिवोटी, बिकॉज ये इनिशियल एंथुसियाज्म होता है, वो न्यूफाइट में होता है. मेरे में जब आई वाज लाइक व्हेन आई जॉइंड इस्कॉन दैट टाइम, तो जो मुझे रास्ते में मिलता था उसको मैं रोक के बोलता था, हरे कृष्णा बोलो, आपको पता है हरे कृष्णा के बोलो, जिसको पकड़ के रोक लेता था और उसको फिलोसफी चलना बोलना चालू कर देता. बट देन आई रियलाइज आफ्टर सम टाइम कि if I go, hardly I am making any impact, because सबको पकड़ना इंटरेस्ट दे, सुनेंगे फिर चले जाएंगे इसके आपके ऊपर. तो उन लोग को देखना पड़ता है, वो मध्यम अधिकारी का प्लेटफॉर्म होता है. He knows to discriminate कि किसको मर्सी देनी है, किसको नहीं देनी है, किसको एसोसिएशन देना है नहीं देना है. He knows to find the innocent. He knows to find those 4 types of people. Jigyasu, who is come for knowledge, distress and for material benefits. उसमें से भी डिस्ट्रेस, जिज्ञासु एंड नॉलेज वाले को ज्यादा टारगेट करते हैं मध्यम अधिकारी, है ना. जो स्ट्रेस में आते हैं, जो मनी के लिए आते हैं, उनको ही नोज कि पैसा होगा, मिलेगा, चले जाएंगे, क्योंकि उन पे भी इतना टाइम नहीं निवेश करते. तो जो 3 लोग हैं, हाँ, जो डिस्ट्रेस में है, उनके लिए काउंसलिंग करके या करके उनको हेल्प करते हैं. जो जिज्ञासु है उनको नॉलेज देके, लाइक वी डू दिस, गिविंग क्लासेस एंड ऑल नॉलेज. एंड जो इंक्विजिटिव है उनको भी नॉलेज देके उनका इंक्विजिटिवनेस खत्म करना. और जिज्ञासु जो नॉलेज के लिए आए, ज्ञान के उनको ज्ञान देना. सो लाइक दैट मध्यम अधिकारी नोज. उत्तम अधिकारी और द हाईएस्ट डिवोटी इज वन हु इज वेरी लर्नेड इन डिवोशनल सर्विस. एंड उत्तम अधिकारी इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन ब्लास्फेमिंग अदर्स. His heart is completely clean. He has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. According to Rupa Goswami, the association and service of such a Mahabhagavat or perfect Vaishnava are the most desirable. So whom we should all associate with? Mahabhagavat. Who is a Mahabhagavat? Who is a Mahabhagavat? Who is a Mahabhagavat? Mahabhagavat, yes, pure devotee. Mahabhagavat means pure, perfect Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada is the perfect Vaishnava. So all of us, if you want to expand, advance in devotional service, you should associate with Srila Prabhupada as much as possible. Uttam Adhikari, yes, as much as possible. Who does not blaspheme others, yes, he does not blaspheme, because a pure devotee sees everyone as part and parcel of Krishna. So if a pure devotee के सामने एक राक्षस भी जाएगा तो उनको भी वो मर्सी देंगे. लाइक प्रभुपाद के सामने गोश्त गया था, राइट. अब गोश्त तो बहुत ही अबॉमिनेबल काम करने के बाद में गोश्त की बॉडी मिलती है आपको, राइट. बट प्रभुपाद ने उनको भी कंपैशन दिया. I remember once Prabhupada was at Radha Kund, his devotees, and he was having prasadam, and there were ants all around Srila Prabhupada. So devotees were trying to push away the ants from Prabhupada. But Prabhupada, he told, okay, get me some more prasadam. And he was feeding those ants. Can you believe? Prabhupada was feeding those ants from prasadam. So devotees were astonished, that what kind of compassion, a pure devotee has. He makes no discrimination between a human and even an ant. Prabhupada was giving those ant little small pieces. Then he was giving those dogs, who were there in Radhakund, prasadam. The monkeys, prasadam, like that. In fact, if you do, I've told many times, right? You know the story of Australia. How many of you know the story of Australia? Prabhupada going from Australia to New Zealand. And the cyclone. I think the old people may be knowing it. कितनों को नहीं पता है, ये बताओ। So Prabhupada was in Australia, in the Australia temple, ISKCON temple, and Prabhupada, after the Mangal Aarti, he used to go for his morning walk before the Darshan Aarti, and he used to have this 2 hours walk, japa and walk with his disciples, and he used to give them insights. So while Prabhupada was coming back, this day, he behaved very differently, and the people and the devotees were astonished. Prabhupada, this garden was there all around the ISKCON temple. In the ISKCON courtyard only, this garden was there. So this time Prabhupada did not go for the japa walk, but he was just in this garden only, just doing his japa in the garden, chanting, and he was going and touching each and every flower, and plucking it and smelling it. He went to, and he touched the trees, and he hugged the trees, and he blessed kissed the trees. Like that he was behaving very strangely. So like devotees are, why Prabhupada is plucking the flowers? Because these flowers has to be offered to the Lord. So how can Prabhupada, pluck those flowers before offering it to the Lord? What has happened to Prabhupada today? So anyway, they did not disturb Prabhupada, and Prabhupada went to each and every plant. He touched those plants very gently. He plucked the flower of those plants. He was smelling it, and he was giving it to the other devotees, and like that, whole 2 hours he was doing this. And then Darshanarthi, he gave the lecture, Bhagavatam, and he went to New Zealand. So as Prabhupada was on his flight to New Zealand, there was a big cyclone in Australia, right? Big cyclone in Australia. And that cyclone destroyed the entire garden of the temple. And obviously the temples, जो टेम्पल का जो ऊपर का है शील्ड, वो भी उड़ गया उसके साथ में, and it destroyed, means when the cyclone was over and Prabhupada reached New Zealand, in few hours, and he called, and the devotees informed Srila Prabhupada that the big cyclone hit, our temple, and everything is destroyed here. The whole temple is underwater. The deities are safe, but if there's water, and all the trees and the plants and all, they all have fallen down and destroyed. The Prabhupada told, now you know why I was touching each and every plant, why I was touching each and every tree, why I was offering it, why I was plucking it and offering it. I was not plucking it and for my enjoyment. I was plucking it and offering it to Krishna, because I knew that they are going to die very soon. The cyclone is coming. I knew that, and this is why I was showing this compassion to all the trees there, all the plants there, all the flowers there, all the fruits there, everywhere, everything Prabhupada was touching. This kind of compassion, love, that now because Prabhupada could see that this is what going to happen. The cyclone is coming. None of the devotees knew. Even the weather department never knew. But Prabhupada knew, that this is going to happen. And obviously, Prabhupada was an expert climate. He could, he told, many things. If you understand, that, how the rains, when the rain comes, before that, the ants start going into their ant holes. The snakes start behaving differently. So there are many, many things by which you can understand. Old people knew the language of the nature. So, and the animals, they could understand. So by that they could come to know what is going to happen. It is a science. It is also a science. Signs of the nature. By the signs of the nature, you can come to know what is going to happen, what is not going to happen. Right? So, like if there is going to be an earthquake, you will see, all the snakes and all, they will take, to higher altitude. They will go to higher altitude. Like that, there are many things are there. You can notice the animals and they can come to know that something is going to happen. If there is going to be a big earthquake or some calamity, then all the crows and all, they will start, caw, 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 caw. They will start doing that. So by that you can come to know, what is going to happen. So obviously, Prabhupada was a pure devotee. He knew the signs of the nature also, and plus he was a pure devotee. So like that, he told after all of them, they got liberation. All the plants and all, because they had served Krishna, they all went to Golok Vrindavan. They are all now in Golok, serving Krishna there. This is a compassion of a pure devotee. Never discriminates, between neophytes and non-neophytes, between karmis and non-karmis, between drunkards and decent people. He wants to give equally Krishna consciousness to everyone. But then a pure devotee has to come down on the platform of Madhyam Adhikari to preach. Because a pure devotee cannot preach. Because pure devotee sees everyone as devotees of Lord only. Higher than him, greater than him. That's why Bhakti Siddhant, if you see Bhakti Siddhant, he used to say, Dasosmi, I am your servant. To his disciples also. Dasosmi, I am your servant. So that is a Paramhamsa stage. On that consciousness, you see everyone as more elevated than you. And that is a genuine feeling of humility, that you start seeing everyone engaged in Krishna consciousness much more than you are engaged in. You think that you are just wasting your life and everyone else is so beautifully engaged. That's very high. So on that stage, also you can't do preaching. Because, whom to preach? Everyone is better than me. Whom to preach then? So then a Madhyam Adhikari comes down to Uttam Adhikari comes down to a Madhyam Adhikari stage to start preaching. Only on Madhyam Adhikari stage you can preach. That's a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who are Uttam Adhikaris, they come to the Madhyam platform to preach. But that Madhyam platform is not Madhyam, Kanishta platform or neophyte platform. That Madhyam platform is Uttam Adhikari coming down to Madhyam platform. Whereas we, us, when we become Madhyam, we come from the Kanishta to the Madhyam platform. So this is, according to Rupa Goswami, the association of such a Mahabhagavat, perfect soul, are most desirable. And how to associate with Srila Prabhupada? With his Vani. He has given us so many volumes of books. So many volumes and volumes and volumes of books. If we study each and every book, we can easily, 20 years of our life we can pass just by studying Srila Prabhupada books. And his lectures and his conversations. So much knowledge. One should not remain a Kanishta Adhikari. That you should understand, that whole life if you remain Kanishta, then you can't go back to Godhead. You will miss the chance, miss the boat. One who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple, the devotee is Kanishta Adhikari. Like Prabhupada told once, let the pujaris be in the temple, let the neophyte pujaris be in the temple and ring the bell. All the advanced devotees should go out and preach. So a preacher is more elevated than a worshipper. One who is worshipping Krishna in the Pancharatrika Vidhi. जो temple में worship करते हैं, Prabhupada said, that is a neophyte level. But if you, like even if you go to the temple and darshan and all, everyone loves to go to darshan temple, right? All of you here, preferable, every one of you will run to the temple to take darshan. I don't know. But a Madhyam Adhikari or Uttam Adhikari, उनके heart के अंदर ही temple होता है. So whenever they want to take darshan, they just dive into the heart and they can take darshan. They don't have to rush to the temple to take darshan. So you have to come to that level. You should not remain on the level of neophytes. Oh, Prabhuji, temple darshan, or go to temple for association. You have to become so strong, Madhyam Adhikaris, that even if you are put in a desert, where there are no association, you can survive. You can survive. A neophyte cannot survive without temple. A neophyte cannot survive without physical association. So Prabhupada conceptualized ISKCON as Madhyam Adhikari society, becoming Uttam Adhikaris in the long run. Not just remaining neophytes. That's why Prabhupada never emphasized so much on many temple buildings. He said there should be preaching centers of cultural, education. Even in West, if you see, Prabhupada never established big temples. small centers and big preaching. But of late, there's a race in ISKCON to make more and more temples. Means more and more neophytes we are producing, because more and more temple mean more and more pujaris to do deity worship, more and more money for the temple, and you remain a neophyte. You can't come to the platform of preaching. Then you can't preach because you are 24 hours just engaged in maintaining the temple. Imagine, I was in the Jew temple, Janmashtami, the bill was 90 lakh rupees, Janmashtami bill. अब वो 90 लाख कलेक्ट करने में, जन्माष्टमी का जो लाइट का बिल था, कलेक्ट करने में सब डिवोटीज को भागना पड़ेगा पैसे कलेक्ट करने में. प्रीचिंग कैसे होगी उसमें? इसीलिए नाउ यू विल सी, हार्डली यू सी हरिनाम गोइंग ऑन, हार्डली यू सी बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन गोइंग ऑन, हार्डली यू सी food for life going on outside the temple. Right or wrong? Have you noticed these things? In India, you will not find people doing Harinam on the streets. You will not find people doing book distribution on the streets other than December. December में करते हैं थोड़ा बहुत, बाकी नहीं करते हैं. And you will not find anywhere prasadam distribution going on. Why? Because everyone is engaged in collecting money now. Neophyte. सबको पैसा करना ही पड़ेगा ना पैसा. इतने बड़े बड़े मंदिर बनाए हैं, और एक एक जगह 3-3, 4 बड़े बड़े मंदिर बना लिए. अब वो मंदिर बनाने के लिए पैसा तो लगेगा. You need money, to maintain those and पूरा टाइम फिर मनी में चले जाता है. And no one is there to look after preaching. And then उसके फिर क्या होता है उससे? Now you see so many YouTubers, they have become very famous. Why? Because they have watered down the philosophy. अब motivational speakers बन गए, उससे पैसा आता है फास्ट ना. इंडियंस लोग, पहले क्या था? क्लियर कि we are not Hindu organization, we are Krishna conscious spiritual organization. But अब watered down हो गया है. Now ISKCON has become a Hindu organization, क्योंकि पैसा चाहिए मेंटेनेंस के लिए. और पैसा कौन देगा? जब तक आप बोलोगे नहीं कि हम हिंदू हैं, कोई पैसा देगा नहीं आपको. मार्केटिंग टैक्टिक्स. तो हिंदू मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर बनना पड़ता है, हिंदू बनना पड़ता है. इतना वाटेड डाउन फिलोसफी हो जाती है आपकी, कॉम्प्रोमाइज हर जगह. प्रभुपाद क्लियरली बोलते हैं कृष्णा इज गॉड, रेस्ट एवरीवन इज नॉट. बट देन we see so many lectures by ISKCON devotees themselves, where they say, okay, Mahadev is also God, and there's so many watered down चीज हो गई है उसमें. So many places, Rudra Abhishek happens in ISKCON. Many places Krishna is dressed as Santa Claus. Santa Claus जैसे ड्रेस कर देते हैं कभी कभी क्रिसमस के टाइम पे कृष्णा को, like that. Watered down हो जाता है because the focus is now just to collect the money to maintain the temple. तो पूरा आपका जो मूवमेंट था वो वाटर डाउन होके न्यूफाइड लेवल का मूवमेंट हो गया. इसलिए आपको डिवोटीज भी वैसे मिलते हैं, जो हाई फिलोसफी बात नहीं करेंगे, नॉर्मल बात करेंगे, बट लोगों को पसंद है, वो इतने फेमस भी हो जाते हैं. If you see these motivational speakers from ISKCON also, there are so many motivational speakers you will find online. They will hardly speak of Krishna. पूरे उनके लेक्चर में कृष्णा का एक भी नाम नहीं होता है. वो खाली उनके लेक्चर में होता है कि बस मोटिवेट कैसे करना. So have you ever heard Prabhupada giving a lecture where कृष्णा का नाम नहीं हो? प्रभुपाद के एवरी सेंटेंस में कृष्णा का नाम होता है. प्रभुपाद के एवरी सेंटेंस में होता है चैंट हरे कृष्णा, सरेंडर टू कृष्णा. We have to emulate Prabhupada. Why we have to emulate others? But we have no option left now, because इतने बड़े बड़े टेम्पल हमने किए हैं. यदि हम खाली फिलोसफी बोलेंगे कोई नहीं आएगा. फिलोसफी सुन के कौन देगा पैसा? फिलोसफी में आप बोल रहे हो सब कुछ छोड़ दो, राइट? फिलोसफी में आप बोल रहे हो कि भैया ब्रह्मचारी बन जाओ, तो किसी के माता पिता देंगे पैसे? अरे मेरे बेटे को ब्रह्मचारी बना रहे हो आप, हम क्यों पैसे दें आपको? आप तो हम इंडिया के यूथ को ब्रह्मचारी बना रहे हो. Why will I give you money? नहीं बन रहे हो. But then when you say ब्रह्मचारी बनने का जरूरत नहीं, you मोटिवेट हो, बस घर पे रह के मोटिवेट होते रहो, तो लोग अरे वाह मोटिवेट हो रहे हैं, चलो पी लो प्रभु जी 1 लाख रुपए 2 लाख रुपए, because you're giving motivation so much. So इसीलिए अभी you will see like Prabhupada never mingled with the politician, but now you will see devotees mingling with the politician also, because for favor, लैंड मिल जाए, टेम्पल मिल जाए, हो जाए, ये सब हो जाए. So now you can't even preach to the politician. उनको प्रीच करने जाओगे तो बोलेगा भैया तुम कल तो मुझसे तुम जमीन के लिए मांग रहे थे, आज मुझे ज्ञान दे रहे हो. So like that, when you just focus too much on temple worship, but when you just focus on philosophy and you don't ask any favor to anyone, then you can preach because you're following what you're preaching, right? Vairagya. So this has to be understood. That's why Prabhupada, after 108 temple, Prabhupada told, now we don't need to expand more. We have enough temples, enough devotees. Now let's boil the milk. That is like, let's start producing madhyam adhikaris. No kanishta adhikar. We don't need kanishta adhikaris. Like Prabhupada, very famous quote of Prabhupada. What is the use of many stars when we can have one moon, right? Prabhupada say, I need one moon, not many stars. News सब जगह आते हैं. So Bhagavatam 11th canto. Acharyam evam haraye pujam ya shraddhayete na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu sa bhakta rakta smita. A person who is very faithful, engaged in worshipping the deity in a temple, but who does not know how to behave towards devotees or people in general, is called prakata bhakta or kanishta devotee. So, we have to elevate ourselves from this kanishta platform, just not remain on the deity worship platform. Just don't be attracted to the deity worship or temple. Try to see Krishna in your japa. Well, that is what, you can see Krishna through your ears, not by your eyes. Prabhupada told. In the हमको temple में eyes से दिखते हैं Krishna, no? But that, that is good for the beginners. But don't remain a beginner forever. Come to the Madhyam platforms. Try to see Krishna with the ears. Then that is the real seeing of Krishna. One therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanishta to the position of Madhyam Adhikari. The Madhyam Adhikari is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.46 in this way. Ishvere tad adhineshu balisu dvasatsu cha prema maitri karpopeksha yad karoti cha madhyama. Madhyam Adhikari is a devotee who worships the Supreme Person Lord as the highest object of love, makes friend with the Lord's devotees, is merciful to the ignorant, he preaches to the ignorant, and avoids those who are envious by nature. So Madhyam Adhikari discriminates whom to associate. Like I was telling, a neophyte wants to preach to everyone. अपने मम्मी पापा को सबको जाके preach करता है. But Madhyam Adhikari doesn't waste time in that. He knows कि कहाँ से minimum input, maximum output मिलेगा. Oh, he knows that. So जो उनके जो audience है, जिज्ञासु, ज्ञानी and distressed, उनको ही target करते हैं. उनको because उनको mercy देते हैं. Like all our preaching, if you see ISKCON Inc. also, our whole preaching is directed to these three people only. We through the internet, we are trying to find out who is interested. Like this app we launched. Why did we launch this app? So that people who are interested in knowledge, jigyasu, jnani, or who are distressful, they can come here, right? And they can get knowledge. So this is the reason why we launched the app also. Normal लोग अभी कोई download करके क्यों आएगा, right? App को जिसको ज्ञान चाहिए वही आएगा, कोई फालतू में तो कोई आएगा नहीं. तो उसी our target is that, that. So like I sometime back told, that I want to produce as many as Madhyam Adhikaris as possible in ISKCON Inc. I don't want Kanishta, because Kanishta will come, will do some time pass and will go away. But a sincere person, he should elevate his consciousness and come to this Madhyam platform where you worship the Lord with love, with as the highest object of love. You make friendship with Lord's devotees. You be merciful to others who are jigyasu, jnani and in distress, and you avoid the envious. जो भी भक्ति के लिए भक्ति जिसको इंटरेस्ट नहीं है उनको अवॉइड करो. चाहे उसमें फिर आपके पेरेंट्स भी हो, आपके फ्रेंड्स हो, आपके रिलेटिव्स हो, आपके ब्रदर सिस्टर, उनको अवॉइड करो. Because they will never become devotees and they will also take you away from bhakti. This is the way to cultivate devotional service properly. And therefore, in this verse, Rupa Goswami advised us how to treat various devotees. We can see from practical experience that there are different types of Vaishnavas. The Prakat Sahajiyas generally chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, yet they are attracted to women, money, and intoxication. This is a Sahajiya who chants and who also indulges in sense gratification. Although such a person may chant the holy name of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such person should be respected within the mind, but their association should be avoided. Prabhupada saying, जिनका अभी भी अटैचमेंट है भुक्ति मुक्ति सिद्धि या धनम जनम सुंदरीम कविताम, इनसे धनम जनम मनी, नेम एंड फेम, विमेन, इंटॉक्सिकेशन, जिनका उनसे अटैचमेंट है उनसे हमको अवॉइड करना चाहिए, चाहे वो डिवोटी हो चैंट भी कर रहे हो तो भी, उससे वी विल बी गोइंग डाउन ओनली. आवर एसोसिएशन शुड ऑलवेज बी विद मध्यम अधिकारी एंड जो अगर उत्तम अधिकारी फिजिकल तो नहीं है तो, एंड अगर और बेस्ट इज उत्तम अधिकारी श्रील प्रभुपाद. सो आप लोग इतना लोग जो प्रजल्पा भी करते हो ग्रुप में, वो टाइम पे यदि आप प्रभुपाद की बुक से एसोसिएट करो, प्रभुपाद का एक लेक्चर सुन लो, तो आप लोग का 1000 टाइम मोर ज्यादा प्योरिफिकेशन हो जाएगा, ना कि ग्रुप में प्रजल्पा से कुछ नहीं होना. So such person should be respected within the mind, but their association should be avoided. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they are eager to receive proper instruction from pure devotees. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. Understand? And those who are sincerely carrying out the orders of the spiritual master, like Prabhupada told to preach. So those who are preaching, carrying forward this mission of Prabhupada of preaching, so very sincerely and seriously, those people should be offered Dandavat Pranam and associated with. Neophyte should not be offered. Neophyte को अपने माइंड में आप दूर से प्रणाम कर लो. बट जो एक प्रीचर है जो प्रीच कर रहा है प्रभुपाद के प्रीचर तो बहुत लोग मिल जाएंगे, मार्केट में प्रीचर्स की कमी नहीं है, बट प्रीचर कौन? जो प्रभुपाद बोनाफाइड वे में प्रीच कर रहा है, प्रभुपाद की ओरिजिनल बुक्स को प्रीच कर रहा है. दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. नॉट जिनने वाणी चेंज कर दी है प्रभुपाद की, उनको प्रीचिंग करने से आपको ओबेसेंस पे करने से कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है. दे आर जस्ट न्योफाइट्स. So you have to be very discriminative, very choosy, whom to associate, whom not to, because this is a matter of your spiritual life. तो ना नजर हटी दुर्घटना घटी. One mistake of wrong association and your whole Krishna consciousness is gone. It's like walking on razor's edge. Razor edge पे अगर चलोगे, गलती से पाँव यहाँ का वहाँ पूरा पाँव कट जाएगा. उसी प्रकार एक गलती स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में आपकी पूरी स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ खत्म. Very careful. In this Krishna conscious movement, a chance is given to everyone without discrimination of caste, creed or color. Everyone is invited to join this movement. Sit with us, take prasadam and hear about Krishna. When we see that someone is actually interested in Krishna consciousness and wants to be initiated, we accept him as disciples, or we accept him as Srila Prabhupada's disciples for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. When a neophyte devotee is actually initiated and engaged in devotional service by the order of the spiritual master, he should be accepted immediately as a bona fide Vaishnava, and obeisances should be offered unto him. That person who is following Srila Prabhupada's instruction nicely, fully, जो चारों नियम का पालन कर रहा है, जो चैंटिंग कर रहा है, प्रीचिंग कर रहा है, उनको obeisances. Out of many such Vaishnava, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in service of the Lord and strictly following all the rules and regulations. strictly following all the regulative principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on japa beads, and actually thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttam Adhikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should be sought out. So who is a highly advanced devotee? Out of many such Vaishnava, जो मध्यम अधिकारी है, जो preach कर रहे हैं sincerely, प्रभुपाद के ऑर्डर को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, चारों नियमों का पालन कर रहे हैं, और जो प्रीच कर रहे हैं, उनमें से ऐसे बहुत से मध्यम अधिकारी में से एक जो बहुत ही सिंसियर, बहुत ही सीरियस, very seriously engaged in the service of the Lord, strictly following all the regulative principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds, like 16 rounds, and always thinking of how to expand this Krishna conscious movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as Uttam Adhikari. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as Uttam Adhikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should be sought. The process by which a devotee becomes attached to Krishna is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpan, sahi kale Krishna tare kare atma sama. At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him as good as he himself. This is Uttam Adhikari. Dīkṣā or spiritual initiation is explained in the Bhakti Sandarbha by Jiva Goswami. Divya jnana yato tatyet kurtvet papasya sankayam tasmad dīkṣēti cha prokta dasekhe tatva vidah. By Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually become interested in spiritual life. This is Diksha Vidhi. Understand? Diksha, real Diksha means you are becoming uninterested or disinterested in material life and gradually becoming interested in spiritual life. How many of you are feeling this change in your life? I'm somewhat feel disinterested in worldly talks and activities. Very good. So as it becomes more and more, this is Diksha. So all of you who are feeling disinterested in material enjoyment and are feeling gradually interested in spiritual, you are initiated. This is Diksha Vidhi by Jiva Goswami telling. So how you are not initiated? तो बोलते हैं ना कि दीक्षा लेनी पड़ेगी आपको किसी गुरु से, तभी आपका एडवांसमेंट होगा, लेकिन आप लोग का तो ऑलरेडी हो रहा है एडवांसमेंट. बाय डेफिनेशन, बाय दीक्षा वन ग्रेजुअली बिकम डिसइंटरेस्टेड. तो आप लोग सब लोग डिसइंटरेस्टेड हो रहे हो. अगर आपकी दीक्षा नहीं हुई होती तो आप लोग कैसे हो रहे हो? डिसइंटरेस्टेड कैसे हो रहे हो आप अगर दीक्षा नहीं हुई होती तो? आपकी दीक्षा, आप लोग की दीक्षा हो गई, इसीलिए आप लोग का इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो रहा है ना मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में. अगर दीक्षा नहीं हुई होती तो कैसे खत्म हो रहा होता? आप लोग अभी भी एंगेज होते हैं मटेरियल लाइफ में, एंजॉयमेंट कर रहे होते हैं मटेरियल वे में. दिस इटसेल्फ प्रूव्स दैट ऑल दैट chanting is working, Prabhupada books are working, Prabhupada is there right now, and you all are initiated by Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhupada said just by reading my books you are initiated. So all of you are, because all of you are having a transformation in your heart, right? There is a transformation happening. You are able to give up your bad habits. You are become disinterested in material enjoyment. On a Sunday evening, most of the people are right now in the malls, in the music theaters, in watching movies and all those things, or in the house also, having party. But you all are here on a Sunday evening for the session. This means you are disinterested in all that material enjoyment, right? ये कैसे हुआ? ये परिवर्तन कहाँ से आया? अगर प्रभुपाद की बुक्स या प्रभुपाद की नॉलेज या प्रभुपाद का जो चैंटिंग है हमको दिया है प्रभुपाद ने, अगर वो हमारे लाइफ में रेवोल्यूशन नहीं ला रहे होते, हमारे हार्ट में ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं ला रहे होते, तो नहीं होता. दिस इटसेल्फ प्रूव्स दैट वी ऑल आर इनिशिएटेड बाय श्रील प्रभुपाद स्पिरिचुअली. because we are becoming day by day gradually uninterested in spiritual life. We have seen, Prabhupada goes on to say, we have seen many practical examples of this, especially in Europe and America. Many students who come to us from rich and respectable families like all of you quickly lose all interest in material enjoyment. You all lose, you're all young people, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. अभी आप लोग का टाइम है, एंजॉय करो लड़कियों के साथ, लड़कों के साथ, डिस्को, दिस दैट. स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ का टाइम सब बोलते हैं ना, ये टाइम नहीं है. बट इवन देन, after hearing from Prabhupada, after hearing sessions, reading Prabhupada books, associating with ISKCON Inc., doing seva, sadhana, sadhu sang, all of you are becoming disinterested to the point that most of you don't even want to marry, right? You have become so much vairagi, and to the point that you don't want to even marry also. कैसे हो रहा है ये? कहाँ से हो रहा है? कौन कर रहा है ये? हम्बलनेस टॉलरेंस भी आ जाएगा, वो तो थोड़ी क्या है. Many students, they are come from rich, nice families, but they become disinterested. Prabhupada is saying, although they come from very wealthy families, many of them accept living conditions that are not very comfortable. Indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living condition as long as they can live in the temple and associate with the Vaishnavas. This is a devotee. He is ready to accept any condition. This is a devotee consciousness, that he doesn't, worry. He doesn't want luxury. I remember, I always tell this, my example. I told some time back in one lecture, about my karmi life before Krishna consciousness. Very expensive, very wealthy, luxurious life I have lived. So luxurious that I never even went to the kitchen to fill water for myself. Never. Servant was there, आवाज दो and पानी आ जाता. Hardly saw the kitchen. It was like two, three servants were there in Mumbai, so many in Jaipur. So much luxury. I went to ISKCON and the Janmashtami was there. Okay. So गलती से मैंने मांग लिया रामरूप प्रभु से, प्रभु जी कुछ सेवा है क्या जन्माष्टमी में. लगा चलो जन्माष्टमी आज सेवा करते हैं भगवान की, भगवान को प्रसन्न करते हैं. और मैंने गलती से रामरूप प्रभु को पूछ लिया अभी जन्माष्टमी के दिन पे. उन्होंने बोला वाह नेकी पूछ कुछ बहुत बड़ी सेवा, बहुत सारी सेवा है, आ जाओ. बोला अच्छी बात है, कुछ सेवा देंगे, अच्छी सेवा है. हेड पुजारी तो हो सकता है राधा रसबिहारी के ऑल्टर में कुछ सेवा दे दें, लाइक दैट हेड. सो हमको लेके भी जा रहे थे हमको ऑल्टर के वहां से. मेरे को लगा चलो आज तो ऑल्टर के अंदर कुछ ना कुछ सेवा मिलने वाली है. बट ऑल्टर जाते हैं ना तो वहाँ पे दो गेट है, एक सीधा और एक राइट ऑल्टर का गेट है और सीधा किचन का गेट है. तो उन्होंने राइट टर्न नहीं किया, हमको सीधा ले गए. मैंने बोला अब ये कहाँ ले जा रहे हैं? और किचन में ले जा रहे थे हमको. और किचन में फिर बोला ठीक है, हो सकता है कुछ फ्रूट काटने होंगे भगवान के लिए. और फिर उससे भी आगे ले गए. कहाँ ले गए? जहाँ बर्तन धोते हैं भगवान के, वॉशिंग एरिया, यूटेंसिल्स. हाँ मैं एंड that time I was youth forum में, so I had many people under me, around 5-10 people under me. So he took us to this utensil washing place, and वो इतना बड़ा रूम था, उसमें हर प्रकार के यूटेंसिल्स जो भगवान के लिए प्रसाद बनता है, डिवोटीज के लिए प्रसाद बनता है, बड़े बड़े कंटेनर्स सब. बोला ये सबको धोने का है. मैं बोला मतलब? हाँ सेवा ही वांटेड ना. ये सब जितने भी देख रहे हो ना, आई मीन इतना बड़ा रूम और hundreds of vessels were there. मैंने लाइफ में अपनी कभी ग्लास पानी की उठाई नहीं. किचन से जाके ऑर्डर पे आता था, और यहाँ पे इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी कृष्णा के hundreds of यूटेंसिल्स हैं जिनको धोना है. लाइफ में कभी कुछ धोया नहीं मैंने. मैंने बोला ओके प्रभु विल डू इट. तो हम सब लगे 10 8-9 लोग थे, सब लगे उसमें धोने के लिए, एंड होल रात 12 बजे, अरे बाप रे, आज बहुत कुछ ज्यादा अचीव कर लिया. So then Ram Prabhu comes and धो दिया, yes, and then he looks at those utensils and he gives a firing of my life to me. Firing which literally had, I mean, I was just 6 months old, 1 year old in the temple. Life में कभी किया नहीं है. And he's saying, this is the way you wash Krishna's utensils. ये देखो यहाँ पे ये चिंगट लगा है, वहाँ पे वो है, वहाँ पे वो है, ये वो, and like, और बहुत छोटा, but he was like pointing out. I was like, लाइफ में कभी किया नहीं है, इतना किया, उसमें भी अप्रिशिएशन नहीं मिल रहा है, डांट मिल रहा है, एंड ऐसा डांट कि जो बाकी के लोग थे ना, वो भाग गए. वो लोग हम तो नहीं कर रहे, वी आर गोइंग. और उसके हमें कभी मंदिर में दिखे भी नहीं वो. तो मैं और 2-3 लोग बचे, एंड मैं अपना सर नीचे करके विद टीयर्स इन माय आईज, आई वाज जस्ट लाइक, माय गॉड, दिस इज, इतना तो हमें घर वाले ने कभी चिल्लाया नहीं इतना. ही शाउटेड, लिटरली ब्लास्टेड. Obviously, now we know why he blasted, because Krishna is, he has to be completely crystal clean. Not even one dot should be there. He was teaching us cleanliness and humility. Before that, I was thinking, अरे मैं इतना अमीर हूँ, ये हूँ, वो हूँ, गाड़ी में आता हूँ अपने मर्सिडीज में, इसमें उसमें घूमता हूँ, डोनेशन चाहिए तो ले लो मेरे फादर से, मैं दे दूंगा. ईगो, बहुत हाई ईगो. एंड सीधा उसको जमीन पे लाके रख दिया एक ही फायरिंग में कि तुम कुछ नहीं हो कृष्णा के सामने. यू आर अ पीस ऑफ शिट, in front of Krishna, and you better do Krishna's work perfectly, otherwise you remain a shit in front of Krishna. It was like, I had tears, but it was very loud, blasting on, But then, I went again, and then we again cleansed all for 2 hours till Darshan Aarti. We were cleaning, and then when he came, he was very happy. And then he even announced my name, Gaurav Mono, this cleaning so nicely, and then I was like, wow, So Krishna taught me a very important message that day. He taught that अपने हाई जो इससे हो ना लेवल से नीचे आ जाओ, धरती पे आ जाओ. जितना उड़ते हो तुम अपने पिता के पैसे के ऊपर, अपने मटिल पिता के पैसे के ऊपर तुम्हारी औकात कुछ भी नहीं है. And literally, humbleness, कि भैया I am nothing, and cleanliness, that Krishna wants everything clean. एक दाना नहीं होना चाहिए कृष्णा के सेवा में, गंदगी का. Everything should be clean. So this is the very important message which every one of us should understand. Such humility should be developed in everyone's heart. Then only Krishna's mercy comes to us, and then Krishna makes us the instrument of many big plans of his. Otherwise, so many people come to bhakti, but no one gets the chance. So indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living condition as long as they live in the temple and associate with devotees. This is why, for Krishna we can, like brahmacharis in ISKCON, I've seen, they just sleep on, rich people, they sleep on one mat on the ground, very simple prashadam, but that prashadam is divine. So, you don't have interest in luxury then. You lose all your interest in your material life. You just want to serve Krishna. So that kind of, when you develop that attachment, then you become a madhyam adhikari. You just want to do for Krishna. And then very fast you become uttam adhikari, a pure devotee of the Lord. When one becomes so disinterested in material life, he becomes fit for initiation by the spiritual master. For the advancement of spiritual life, Srimad Bhagavatam prescribes tapasya brahmacharya samesa sa dhamesa sa. damage. When a person is serious about accepting dīkṣā, he must be prepared to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of mind and body. Then you will get dīkṣā. If one is so prepared and is desirous of receiving spiritual enlightenment, Divya Gyan, he is fit for being initiated. Divya Gyan is technically called Tad Vigyan, or knowledge about the Supreme. Tad Vigyanartham cha goyam eva bhi gicchate. When one is interested in the carnal subject matters of the absolute truth, he should be initiated. Such a person should approach the spiritual master in order to take dīkṣā. The Bhagavatam also prescribes when one is actually interested in the carnal service of the absolute truth, he should approach a spiritual master. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instruction. One should only accept a spiritual master just to make, nor should one accept a spiritual master just to make a fashion show of spiritual life. One must be jigyasu, very much inquisitive, to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science. The word uttama refers to that which is the above mentioned knowledge. Tama means darkness of this material world, and uttama means transcendental. So one who removes the darkness and takes you to the transcendental platform, that is the uttamadhikari. Understand? So don't accept Guru as a fashion. If you are very sincere and serious, then only accept. Because Guru will teach you, ways to go back to Godhead. So if you are really interested, you accept. And then you have to follow what the Guru says. You can't just say, oh, I accept you as Guru and don't follow. This is both for Shiksha and Diksha Guru. You can't think, oh, chalta hai, Prabhuji ne bola hai, like I told everyone, 29 ko exam hai, final order pe, padho, And that should be, if you can't take that instruction seriously and prepare, then how can you even think of going back to Godhead? You're just taking bhakti cheaply, very. What has to be like? We tell, attend sessions, right? People don't attend. They want to do all kinds of, excuses. Oh, Prabhu ji, आज मैं यहाँ पे हूँ, आज लाइट नहीं आ रहा है, आज वाईफाई नहीं है, आज ये नहीं है, आज वो नहीं है, for not attending. So then don't become a disciple. Don't think that you want to go back to God. You can go back home. When you are ready 100%, to the point that the biggest test you are ready to give in your life, then you are really eligible for dīkṣā, accepting dīkṣā. That is a real time in your life when your spiritual life will really progress. Before that, the advancement will happen. But the day you become so much surrendered that you accept everything that the Guru says and take it and make it as your life and life mission, you will see your spiritual progress takes a, what do you say, missile, or क्या launch करते हैं ना, rockets on the sky, such fast it will go. Very fast. Generally, people are very interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters. But when one has lost such interest and is simply interested in transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. When one is actually initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as madhyamadhikari. That is the difference between a neophyte and a madhyamadhikari. Understand? A neophyte will not take the orders of the Guru very sincerely, very seriously. But a madhyamadhikari, जो order दिया, वो जैसे order खत्म हुआ उसके पहले तो उसका execution चालू हो गया. That is, very, very nice. This is the reason why one should always be ready to deliver or to fulfill the orders for Siksha Guru and Diksha Gurus. Diksha Guru and Siksha Gurus. Then very fast progress. Then Krishna will see, oh, they're honoring, then Krishna will personally clean your heart for all the dust that is there. Chanting of the holy name of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offense, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name and the Lord himself. One who has reached such a understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without the chanting of holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Yahare kamala shraddha se kanishta jan krame krame tenho bhakta haive uttama. One whose faith is soft and palliable is called a neophyte. Soft means komal shraddha, not very strong. But by gradually following the process of Shravan Kirtan Smaran, he will rise to the platform of Uttama. We should all try to become Uttama. Definitely try to become Madhyama in the next 2-3 years. All of you who are attending this Bhakti Adhikari, you should all try to become Madhyam Adhikaris. From today onward, you should know whom to offer obeisances, whom not to offer, whom to associate, whom not to associate, what to discriminate, how to discriminate. You should know whom to associate. Very important. And then whom to give knowledge to and whom to avoid. Envious people we have to avoid. So everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage. But if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds, 16 rounds of Harinam, he will be elevated step by step to the Uttam highest platform, Uttam Adhikari. Chanting means the four-acted principle. Chanting means seva sadhana, sadhu sang. Seva is also chanting. Because when you chant, what do you ask Krishna? Oh Krishna, please engage me in your seva. Oh Krishna, please engage me in your seva. So Krishna gives you seva, chanting, and then you say, oh Krishna, I can't do seva now, I'm busy. I have to study, I have the exams coming, I have this coming, that coming. Then Krishna says, why are you asking me for seva then? You don't want to do seva. So why are you asking? So when we chant, we should be ready that seva is coming our way. If seva is not coming your way, then your chanting is not working. You are not chanting properly. So be eager when you start chanting that ab seva aane wali hai. और सेवा के लिए वेट करो. Yes, be enthusiastic. And अगर सेवा नहीं आ रही है तो क्राई करो कि कृष्णा सेवा क्यों नहीं आई अभी तक, कृष्णा सेवा क्यों नहीं आई अभी तक, कृष्णा सेवा क्यों नहीं आई. और सेवा नहीं आएगी तो सेवा इज अ रियल मेवा. होता है ना, सेवा इज अ रियल मेवा. मेवा मतलब स्वीटनेस. सेवा इज दैट. The fruit of our chanting is seva. The fruit, this is the symptom. You have to understand. कि चैंटिंग में हमारा प्रोग्रेस हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, इसका क्या क्या प्रमाण है. वही प्रमाण है कि आपके अंदर बहुत सेवा आ रही है नहीं आ रही है आपके पास. तो जिनके पास इतनी सेवा है, समझ जाना कि उनका उतना एडवांसमेंट हो रहा है. इसलिए आप जितने लोग भी हो ना, जो उसके पास में कम हो, वो सब अपनी सेवा को बढ़ा लो. चैंटिंग जब भी कर रहे हो ना, चैंटिंग का बढ़ाओ, सेवा बढ़ जाएगी. डिमोशन नहीं होगा, प्रमोशन होगा. Right? The Krishna conscious movement prescribed chanting 16 rounds daily because people in Western countries cannot concentrate for a long period while chanting on the beats. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds prescribed is 16. And Prabhupada very intelligently says here, you have to notice Prabhupada's words. Because people in the Western countries, so 16 rounds is Prabhupada made for people in the Western countries because they couldn't concentrate for longer. But now even you are becoming Westernized, so you can be taken in the categories of Westerners only. 16 rounds. But However, Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 1,00,000 names, he is considered patita fallen. This is Indian standard. You can't become Madhyam Adhikari at least if you can't chant 1,00,000 rounds a day. 64 rounds a day, you become Madhyam Adhikari. Right? Bhaktisiddhanta said 16 years, 64 rounds, you become Uttam Adhikari. 16 years, 64 rounds. So हम कितने राउंड चैंट कर रहे हैं? $16 rounds. तो हमारे को कितने साल लगेंगे? If 16 years, 64 rounds, you become Uttam Adhikari, then how many years for 16 round chanters? करो कैलकुलेट करो मैथमेटिक्स वाले लोग. If 16 years for 64 rounds, then how many years for 16 rounds? Hmm? 50 years minimum. What is your age right now? जो 30 साल के हो गए उनको तो नेक्स्ट लाइफ तक वेट करना पड़ेगा. जो 20 साल के हैं 70 years जी सकते हैं ना, तो उनके लिए ये जिंदगी में हो सकता है. समर्थ is lucky, he can complete become a उत्तम अधिकारी in this life. जो 25 प्लस है उनके लिए प्रॉब्लम है, उनको मे बी एक लाइफ और लेनी पड़ेगी, या अपने राउंड इंक्रीज कर दो, 32 राउंड्स कर दो. So then you will do it faster, right? You will do it faster. But जिनका एज हो गया है 40 प्लस, उनके लिए रीच होना टाइम एक और लाइफ लग सकता है. So for them you should increase your rounds. 32 rounds कर दो, otherwise you'll be patita only. According to this calculation, practically every one of us is fallen, Prabhupada is saying. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who is famous as Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the fallen. Right? When Srila Satyaraj Khan, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava could be recognized, the Lord said, Prabhu kahe yana mukhe suni ek baar, Krishna naam sahi pujya shrestha sabakar. If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best among best men out of the common group. But that one naam of Krishna should be Shuddha naam. एक बार कृष्ण का नाम लोगे आप उत्तम अधिकारी बन जाओगे, बट वो नाम शुद्ध नाम होना चाहिए, विदाउट एनी अटैचमेंट, ना अन्य अभिलाषा शून्यम ज्ञान कर्मान्वितम, विदाउट एनी भुक्ति मुक्ति सिद्धि, नो अटैचमेंट, प्योर नेम. व्हेन यू चैंट, then you can become उत्तम अधिकारी. One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna, or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's name, should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respect as such, at least in one's mind. One who is chanting who is chanting 16 rounds, or who wants to chant, he is Vaishnava. So you can offer obeisances to that person in the mind. One who, one of our friends, English musician, Prabhupada is talking of George Harrison, he became attached to chanting the holy name of Krishna, and even in his records, he has several times mentioned the holy name of Krishna. At his home, he offers respect to pictures of Krishna and also preaches about Krishna. In all regard, he has a very high estimation for Krishna's name and Krishna's activity. Therefore, we offer respect to him without reservation. For we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. The Prabhupada here is saying that George Harrison was actually a Madhyam Adhikari. Right? because he was so much attached, he made others also chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting the holy name should be accepted, should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries who were supposed to be great preachers has gradually fallen into material conception of life because they failed to chant the holy name of the Lord. When you get name fame, then you stop chanting the holy name. Like I see so many sannyasis, they don't chant their now round. They don't chant, they stop chanting. They think now they become liberated. So they hold the bead bag, but they don't chant. Their fingers don't move. You can watch them. They don't chant. So that's this kind of Prabhupada is saying, like Prabhupada God brothers, they were all chanting 64 rounds, but all of them fell down. Why? Because Bhaktisiddhanta left and they all got this name, fame, kida in their heart. They all wanted to become guru. So they started fighting among themselves, becoming guru. So Vaishnava Aparadh they did. Because Bhaktisiddhanta never ordered anyone to become guru. Vaishnava Aparadh they did. So as Vaishnava Aparadh they did, they lost the taste in chanting. So from 64 round they fell down to 0 round. And then they started falling like 9 pins. Everywhere. One fall down after the other started happening. Kunj Bihari and so many not Sridhar Swami, Madhav Swami and so many others. They all started falling. While giving instructions, Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya divided devotional service into 3 categories. Shastra Yukti Nahi Yahi Drashta Shraddhavan Madhyamadhikari Yahi Mahabhagava. A person whose conclusive knowledge of the Shastra is not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and who is also undeterred in his execution of prescribed devotional service should be accepted as Madhyamadhikari. Madhyamadhikari means he can, he's very strong, his nishtha is very strong, yet he cannot, convince large number of people, conclusively is in the Shastra, but because his conviction is very strong in Krishna consciousness, he is also a Madhyamadhikari. A neophyte cannot preach only, neither can he neither is his faith in chanting the holy name very strong. That's why a neophyte sometimes chants 16, sometimes doesn't chant, sometimes 4, sometimes 6, sometimes 10. But Madhyamadhikari is fixed in chanting 16 rounds. He understands the Shastra, he follows the Shastra. He may not be sometimes conclusively able to prove the Shastra, but even then he's a Madhyamadhikari. And Uttam is one who can conclusively preach, and he obviously that Uttam comes down to the Madhyam platform to preach, but an Uttam can preach and make others devotees. Madhyamadhikari is a Shraddhavan, a staunch, faithful person, and is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, one becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform devotional service, according to the development of his Shraddha. When Komal Shraddha, Kanishta. When strong Shraddha means Nishtha, Madhyam. And when his Shraddha is so strong that, he can bind Krishna with his Shraddha, with his love, that is Uttamadhikari. By rendering service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. And this confidence, firm faith, favorable to discharging devotional service is called Shraddha. So what is Shraddha? By devotional transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. So many people say, oh, what are duties to our ancestors, our parents, our this, our pitras and all. What is that? Our nation and all. So when you have this much faith, that just by bhakti, you have just to do Krishna's bhakti. Like you water the root, everyone gets the water. So by Krishna bhakti, everyone will be satisfied. This Shraddha, when you have, that is called the beginning of Shraddha in your heart. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Shraddha means strong faith. The words of Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instruction for faithful people, men. And whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as it is, without interpretation. This was the way Arjun accepted Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjun told Krishna, "Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. This is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita. And it is called Shraddha. It is not that one accepts a portion of Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical interpretation and the other rejects. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting the instruction of Bhagavad Gita in their totality. Similarly, Shraddha means accepting the instruction of Guru in totality. Shraddha means accepting spiritual life in totality. ये नहीं कि हमारा मन करता है हम ये फॉलो करते हैं, हमारा मन करता है हम वो फॉलो नहीं करते. That is not Shraddha. That is neophyte. Means Madhyam Shraddha is this only, that he in totality accepts. So when Krishna says Sarva Dharman Prete Maham Ekam Sharanam, abandon all vital of religion and surrender unto me, when one becomes completely faithful in regard of this instruction, one strong faith becomes basis for advancing in spiritual life. This is the beginning of your spiritual life, the Madhyam platform. When you start, giving up everything, all Sarva Dharman, all dharmas, your Matra Dharma, your Pitra Dharma, your Putra Dharma, your Pati Dharma, your Patni Dharma, your Stan Dharma, your Dhan Dharma, whatever Dharma you're following, Hindu Dharma, Nation Dharma, give up, and you only one Dharma, Savay Pumsha Paro Dharma, ye to Bhakti Adoksa hai, Krishna se Bhakti. Then you are Madhyam Adhikari and you can become Uttam Adhikari very fast. One who is fully engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevan Mukhai Jivado Swayam Eva Smritaha Adaha. We cannot realize Krishna, Supreme Godhead, by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue. Sevan Mukhe Jivado means vibrate. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Eat only Krishna Prasad. Chant only Hare Krishna. So this is the beginning of your spiritual life. Such service begins with the tongue, which means that we should always chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the holy name of the Lord, and accept Krishna Prasad. We should not chant or accept anything else. When this process is faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord reveals himself to the devotees. Now you know why Krishna doesn't reveal, because we are not following, we are not eating prasadam, we are not chanting. Many times we just eat karmi foods, non-offered food, sometimes onion garlic food. When a person realizes himself to be eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna seva, Krishna service. Always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which you can spread the holy name of the Lord of Krishna. He understands that his only business is spreading the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized Uttam Adhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the sixth process. So that person is Uttam Adhikari, who is always 24 hours thinking how to expand this mission, how to expand Krishna consciousness, how to reach more and more people. That is an Uttam Adhikari. A Madhyam Adhikari is the one who chants nicely, who can preach to others, but who is not, who has strong faith, but he cannot convert others into Krishna conscious yet. But Uttam Adhikari, he is always devising means to make different devotees Krishna conscious. That is Uttam Adhikari. But that doesn't mean that Uttam Adhikari becomes a dīkṣā guru also. No, Uttam Adhikari is a Uttam Adhikari pure devotee, but he can become a dīkṣā guru only when he is ordered by his guru to become a dīkṣā guru. Otherwise, no one can become. So Uttam Adhikari doesn't qualify you to become dīkṣā guru. Uttam Adhikari means you are pure devotee and you can act as Shiksha Guru, and you can help others advance spiritually, and spread the Krishna conscious movement everywhere. That role is done by a person who is Uttam Adhikari. Indeed, the advanced Vaishnava Uttam Adhikari Vaishnava should be accepted as a spiritual master, means Diksha Guru here. Diksha Guru only when you are ordered by a Diksha Guru. Everyone who possesses everything one possesses should be offered to Krishna, for it is enjoyed that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. Somehow, however, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Bhagavad without being self-realized, for by such imitation, one will eventually become degraded. In this verse, Rupa Goswami advises the devotees to be intelligent enough to distinguish between Kanishna, Madhyam and Uttama. The devotee should also know his own position. What is where we stand? Where are we? Are we neophyte? Are we Madhyam Adhikari? Are we Uttam Adhikari? हम क्या है? ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है. अदरवाइज हम एडवांस नहीं कर पाएंगे. यदि हम अपने आप को प्योर डिवोटी समझ लगे तो सबसे बड़ा स्टुपिडिटी होगी. तो हमें समझना चाहिए कि हम क्या हैं, हम कौन है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, कि क्या हमारे अंदर इतनी स्ट्रांग श्रद्धा है कृष्णा के प्रति, क्या हम शास्त्र एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं अदर्स को, क्या हम दूसरों को डिवोटी बना सकते हैं, क्या कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आए लाइफ में, हमारी फेथ डगमगाती है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स मीन्स यू आर नियोफाइट. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate devotees situated on higher position platforms. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttamadhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls into Vaishnavism. This is a symptom of an Uttamadhikari who can make others Vaishnavas. He is an Uttamadhikari. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the immediately platform can also accept disciples. मतलब मध्यम अधिकारी can also accept disciples. दीक्षा गुरु बन सकते हैं. But such disciples must be on the same platform, and it is to be understood that they cannot advance very well towards the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttam Adhikari as a spiritual master. मध्यम अधिकारी भी गुरु बन सकते हैं, दीक्षा गुरु. बट उनसे आप दीक्षा लोगे तो आप एडवांस नहीं, आप उसी के लेवल पे आके अटक जाओगे, उनके लेवल पे. तो इसीलिए जो उत्तम अधिकारी प्योर डिवोटी है, जिनको अपने गुरु से ऑर्डर मिल चुका है दीक्षा देने का, you have to accept that person as a guru. And Srila Prabhupada never gave this instruction to anyone to become guru. So that's why we accept only Srila Prabhupada as guru. Rest everyone can act as Shiksha Gurus. Vartman Padiksha Guru, who is the one who introduces us to Bhakti, or Shiksha Gurus at the most. Shiksha Gurus can be Uttam Adhikari and Madhyam Adhikari also. Uttam Adhikari Shiksha Guru will help you advance much, much more. Madhyam Adhikari and Shiksha Guru will help you advance to the level of Madhyam Adhikari. Beyond that, you will need a Uttam Adhikari Shiksha Guru. Madhyam Adhikari can make your Nishtha very strong in Krishna consciousness. But then he cannot take you beyond Nishtha platform. He cannot take you beyond the platform where you can realize your Swarup. That will not be possible. He doesn't know the process. Only a Uttam Adhikari Vaishnava, Shiksha Guru, he knows that how to further your spiritual advancement. That's why if you which is his book Jaiva Dharma, Bhaktivedanta Thakur very detailed explains how far a Shiksha Guru, a Madhyam Shiksha Guru can take you. A neophyte can be mostly a Vartaman Padiksha Guru, means one who helps you to come to Krishna consciousness. That is what a neophyte can act as. A Madhyam Adhikari can act as Shiksha Guru. Sometimes he can become Diksha Guru also, but he cannot take you much advance, and you fall down if you take Diksha from a Madhyam Adhikari Diksha Guru. And as a Shiksha Guru also, he can just take you to the platform of Nishtha, not beyond that. But a Uttam Shiksha Guru, who knows the science of Krishna consciousness, who knows how you can reach the stage of Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema, that Shiksha Guru can, then you have to go to that Shiksha Guru to further learn the art of Krishna, advancing further in Krishna consciousness. So Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava